It's actually the first time that I've worked in a domestic space but taken over the whole space as a working space. So it's quite weird because it's almost like you're coming to another life where it's a little house or cottage that I come into each day, but it's just paintings in every room. Oh, this one's already open. And there's also this kind of different feeling in that, like, I don't take my shoes off at the front door, and sometimes autumn leaves blow into the hallway and I just leave them there because, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, if I have a visitor, it doesn't really matter that there's leaves and flaking paint all over the floor, and I kind of like that. I like that it's, you know, it is a house and we are sitting in the front sitting room, but it's also, there's like oil paint all over the floor, and there's something kind of exciting about that, almost like I'm in a cubby, or like that feeling you get. I remember as a little girl, you know, like finding an abandoned little hut and wanting to move in or make house. And there's something about this space that really inspires that feeling in me as well. It's almost like a fictitious second life that you're living, which is just really exciting. And it's like you're living outside of your usual restraints of, like, you know, getting up and getting the kids ready for school, and just running off into this weird little house and painting has been just very liberating in a way. It's like I don't exist. It's like I go into another parallel universe when I'm in here and no one knows where I am. You're in such a funny mood. Are you in a playful mood, eh? Are you? Can you sit down and just be good? Can you sit? Can you sit there? I painted these two vessels on the wall because I was thinking a lot about the two women that lived in this space before, like a long time ago. So it's been through two full generations from about 1910, and then that woman passed it on to her daughter, who lived her whole life here as well. And I don't know a lot about them, but I just know a little bit from the owners of the space. And I was thinking about, you know, the idea that a house is a vessel for bodies, and that bodies are vessels for souls. And I was sort of then thinking about how can you have just the soul in the house without the body? The analogy of a vessel or a jug holding water and not cracking, and, you know, doing your job and not letting everything spill out, or not pouring yourself out helplessly. But then I like thinking about maybe doing that too, and what does it mean if you do pour yourself out into a situation, and what does it mean if you do lose your contents? And so the analogy of a vessel has run through the show, and it's been quite useful for me to think about a vessel for, yeah, holding emotions, or holding a story, or holding grief. Yeah, it was quite a rich metaphor for me to explain. And then just technically, the device of framing the paintings has been to use this sort of cropping of negative space, which I actually really enjoy. And I think the first time I did it was with this painting, where I had painted the full, these are swallows, welcome swallows, that were at Bundanon on their residency when I started this painting. And there were way more. There were like 6 swallows in the painting, and it was just way too much. But I liked these two, and so part of me just instinctively painted out the others, and then I thought, oh, it sort of could be a jug, and then it started me thinking about this framing device and what we see and what we don't see. So I think sometimes a painting can just be a little segment of the story, and actually what we don't see is all outside of the painting. And so this hints at the fact that there is a part of the story that's cropped out or that's masked. And then it also just happens to make it look like a jug. And this, I found this in the back lane, this amazing thing, but it took me I had to borrow a trolley from the cafe, and I broke the wheels of the trolley because it was so heavy. And then I had to get 2 strangers that were walking past to help me lift it onto here, and then I broke the whole letterbox doing it, but I figure it's going to get knocked down anyway. So. And I think with painting, for me, so much about it is like physicality, and I really love getting into my body, and all of these have such a, I really like the thickness of paint of some of them, or this sort of really scratchy thing that I get into doing, and I just get so caught up in the action of doing that there's something about painting that you can't do that in drawing or in something digital or in photography. And yeah, that physicality of painting is, I love it. It's great.